DreAllDay.com.
With DreAllDay.com. I want to talk about coaching and the value of coaching. Most of you who are, if you're familiar with my work, you know that I'm in the coaching business. I offer, I have coaching programs, work with people as a coach, and also join coaching programs. Anybody who's going to be coaching people probably needs to have been coached themselves, right? Because if you don't know what it feels like to get good coaching, then you may not know how to give it, and for other reasons as well, depending on whatever it is your subject matter. I just joined a $30,000 program. I'm recording this on Thursday. What day was that? Like 2 days ago. I just joined a $30,000 program. Last year I invested probably more money into professional development, not probably, but definitely more money into professional development than I ever had. I'm talking tens of thousands, like close to probably 50 to 75,000 in personal development last year. And I'm not telling you that to impress you, but to impress upon you these points that I'm about to share with you, because I want you all to understand the value of coaching and what coaching actually is. Because a lot of you who have never been coached, you don't actually understand what the value of coaching is. A lot of people think coaching is one thing, but it's actually a whole different set of things. So let me explain this to you all. And when I say coach in this context, I'm referring to any professional who charges money to help you achieve something that maybe you have tried and failed to achieve on your own, or that you want to achieve and you want to get it done faster, better, or make sure that it's done right. So for example, what I'm about to share with you, this can apply to a personal trainer. This can apply to a nutritionist. This can apply to a therapist. This can apply to like a business coach or a life coach. Anybody who's a professional who offers basically insights, instructions, ideas, strategies, tools, and tips for you to get to where you want to get to. So what many of you think, first of all, let's get the wrong part out the way. Many of you think that what coaching is you sit down with a person or you work with a person, whatever, and whatever challenges you believe you have, this person is just going to give you the answers to those questions. So you have your list of 30 things that you want to do. So let's say you hire a personal trainer because you want to get in shape. You've been trying to lose 30 pounds for the last 3 years. You've been unable to do so. So now you're going to hire a personal trainer. They're going to help you lose the 30 pounds that you have been unable to lose on your own. And what you think coaching is that you're going to go to the trainer and say, all right, well, these are the 7 things that I haven't been able to do, or I've been trying, but they're not working. Can you help me with these 7 things? That is not what coaching is. I was just on a call yesterday with a lady who's going to get into my university, into my coaching program. And this happens every now and then. I would say about every 10 or so calls I get on with people who are prospects for my coaching, 1 out of every 10, they already got a list of questions that they want to ask me, because they believe if they get answers to these questions, they'll have everything they need so they can be successful. This is incorrect, but there are people who think this. That's why I'm making this video. So I'm on this call with this young lady, and she had a list of questions. She asked me all this stuff. What do you think about this and this? Or I was trying to figure out this part. And she asked all her questions, and I even answered her questions. And I said to her, while we're in the midst of this conversation, I said, all right, even with all these answers, you're still not going to get to the outcome that you want to get to. And she even laughed because she understood. Even as I answered all her questions, I said, these questions are not what you need. And I'm going to tell you what you actually need in a second. So this is the first thing I want to get out of the way. That any of you who has never hired a coach before, never hired a trainer, or any type of professional, if let's say you need help with your emotions and your spirit, but you never hired a therapist, or you need help with your body, you never hired a trainer, you need help with your business, you never hired a coach or joined a program or a mastermind or something like that. Many of you have a very, very false misconceptions about what these things actually do. Now I'm going to tell you what they actually do accomplish. 4 things that you need to know. Number 1, what coaching does, and again, I already told you, I'm talking about everything. Therapy, personal trainer, life coach, business coach, all that. Coaching holds you accountable. That's the first thing that it does. And almost every single person I talk to who is interested in working with me, they mention this word, accountability. Now, I'm not sure that every person who looks for coaching wants accountability. I would bet that a good amount of people do. I think that is endemic to me and my work, because people know what I'm about. They know my stuff is all based in discipline and mental toughness and being consistent and all of that stuff. So I would bet most of the people who come my way, they believe I can help them with accountability because they see that I'm disciplined at what I do and the way I put my stuff out. But I would bet anybody who's looking for any kind of coaching, they want some form of accountability. What does accountability mean? It means reminding you of the things that you need to be doing, even though you know you need to be doing them, reminding you of them, keeping you on point with them, giving you consistent reminders, checking you and making sure that you keep doing the things that you're supposed to be doing, and keeping you on your job as you're supposed to be on your job. That's what accountability means. And understand, even the most disciplined person in the world needs constant accountability. I just told you, I joined a $30,000 mastermind program. Why did I join that program? The main reason was not for accountability, but I will get accountability in that program. The main reason is business focus. It's focused on me just getting some new tools and better tools and higher level game when it comes to revenue generation. I won't go into detail of that. The whole point is, though, accountability is a part of the product in any kind of coaching that you receive. Any of you ever get any kind of coaching, accountability is going to be part of the process. And you need this. Why? Because human beings, we have this thing in the laws of thermodynamics. We have this thing called entropy. The concept of entropy is relatively simple. It states that any entity left to its own devices is always moving into a higher and higher state of disorder. I also use the word chaos synonymously with disorder. So anything left by itself is just getting into higher and higher states of disorder at all times. In other words, let's think about this. If you get some fruit or vegetables and you put them in the refrigerator or you put them on your kitchen counter and you just leave them there for weeks and you don't eat them, what happens to it? It gets rotten, right? And eventually you got to throw it away. What happens to a person who's in good shape, but they stop working out and they stop going to the gym? Eventually their muscles go away and they lose that great cardiovascular conditioning that they had. We all understand this. What happens to a house if you don't continually clean the house and clean the bathrooms and dust off the furniture? What happens to that house? Any of you ever seen a building that it's vacant and nobody's been inside of it to clean it or just make sure that it stays the upkeep of the building? What happens to that building? It starts to decay and fall apart and it's all dusty and dirty and somebody has to come in and clean it up, or you might have to tear the whole thing down. That's entropy in action. Anything left by itself, not being tended to, is getting into a higher state of disorder. That's one thing coaching does. That's only one. That's the accountability. And everybody needs this. Number two, coaching catches you before, when, and if you slip. This is different from accountability. Before, when, and if you slip, the coaching catches you. So for example, this morning, when you follow my Instagram story, you know that a few times a week after I finish running, I go down to the jacuzzi in my building. And the jacuzzi in this particular building that I live in now is basically nestled inside the gym. So you got to basically walk through the gym to get to the jacuzzi. So when I'm inside the jacuzzi, if you sit in a certain spot in there, you can see inside the gym. And there's this guy, he trains people in the gym and he uses like the open space, and I can see him doing his thing with his clients while I'm sitting in the jacuzzi. And one of the things that he does, and any of you's ever had a personal trainer or seen a trainer before, you know what a trainer does. They tell you what exercise to do, or they're showing you how to do the exercise. And then while you're doing the exercise, what do? They come correct you. Like this girl was doing this exercise today. She was on, I don't know what they call those things. I think they call it the TRX with the little bands that hang down from the bar, the bands. And she was doing like a core exercise where she had to kind of be in a plank position. And he was correcting her because she was like sagging a little bit. Her midsection was sagging down. And he was telling her like, no, get your midsection up, like raise your hips and your butt up. So your core has to do the work to keep you up there. He was correcting her. He was catching her where she was messing up. And I've seen him other times, same guy, with his other clients, and he has them doing exercises and he'll come and kind of correct them on the exercise. He'll move their body like, no, not that way, do it this way. And it might be a small change, but this is what a coach does. They catch you when you're slipping, or before you slip, and when you slip, because you're going to slip. Why? Because human beings, I just told you, the law of entropy. Anything left to its own devices eventually is going to get into a higher and higher state of chaos. This is just how human beings are. When you're left on your own, there will be slow slippage in anything that you do. That's why having a coach keeps you on point and it keeps you focused. And the coach notices where you're going to slip before you even slip. The coach will even tell you, look, you're going to slip in this area, this area, this area, but when you slip, I'm going to be there for you. I'm going to catch you. That's the whole purpose that's one of the purposes, not the whole purpose, one of the purposes of having a coach. So that's the second thing. That's number 2. Number 3. And here's where many of you really need, I hope y'all been listening to this whole video, so because when I get to this point, this is the biggest thing. And this is like the young lady I was talking to yesterday. This is the thing that she didn't understand that she needs to understand when it comes to coaching and what the real value of coaching is. And it's this. Third point. A coach is going to pose and help you answer questions that you never had thought of and never would have thought of on your own. This is the number 3 value of coaching. So this lady I was talking to yesterday, and this is a great example. And I talked to many other people, the exact same thing happened. You get on a call with them, and these are people who are not brand new to me. These are people who know me. Maybe they can follow me on Instagram or something like that, or maybe they get my text messages or whatever. They're in my world, so they have a good feel for like what I'm about, what I talk about, and things like that. So they have an idea of what kind of questions I could possibly answer for them. So they come with all these questions, and could you answer this, and even when I answer all their questions, I tell them after I answer their questions, I say, all right, now I answered all your questions. So now are you on the road to glory and success? And they laugh because they know that even though they got all those answers, they still can't do what they want to do with just that information. Here's the key to what coaching does. A coach is going to ask you better quality questions and then not just force you, but work with you to answer the questions. That's what a good coach does. Check this out, folks. If all you needed to be successful was answers to all the questions that you have in your mind right now, well, what's stopping you? You on YouTube right now. This video's on YouTube, right? You know how to use Google? Okay, so if all you needed to be successful was just answers to the questions that you have, what's your problem? You got the internet, you got YouTube, you got Google. All the answers are there already. You don't hire a coach because you need answers. You don't hire a coach because you need information. You hire a coach because you think these 8 problems are where you're stuck. No, the problem is not those 8 things. The problem is 8 other things that you don't even know you're missing. The coach is going to tell you, look, these are the things you actually need. You think you need this? No, you need these over here, things that you never thought of before. And look, not only am I going to tell you these are the things you need, I'm also going to show you how to get them. I'm going to show you how to do them. I'm going to work with you, and we're going to get you to success. That's what a good coach does. They show you things that you had never seen before. Not in the form of answers, in the form of questions. And if you just get this point, this should be enough to some of you, not all of you, but some of you now understand why you need a coach. Because you think, oh, well, if I just solve these problems that I have, no. You are asking the wrong questions. A good coach asks you better quality questions. I got a whole book called Ask Yourself a Better Question. So I understand this concept very well, just so y'all understand. If you can't see that already. That's what a good coach does. So this lady I was talking to yesterday, and many others, and a bunch of you who are watching this video, while I was talking to her, I explained this exactly to her. I said, listen, if all your problems are things that you could figure out on your own and you could just go on Google or YouTube and get all the information, you'd be good. A lot of people think information is the thing blocking them from success, but that doesn't even make logical sense. How can information be the thing in your way? How can a lack of information, be the thing blocking your success right now when you have access to the internet, which has basically all the information you could possibly want in one place? How is that even possible? I mean, can somebody answer that question? You can't answer the question. So anyway, that's number 3. Here's number 4. Point number 4, last one. Everything that I've explained to you so far is the reason why all high-level performers have coaches. Every high-level performer you can name has a coach in some form. It might be a coach that you know about, might be a coach that you don't know about, but I guarantee you they all have coaches. Nobody's doing it just because they are so talented and just so much better, more disciplined, more focused, etc., than everybody else. People are doing it because they have coaches. That's the reason why they can perform at the level that they can perform. So hopefully everything that I've shared here in this video is enough to sell you on the concept of why you need to get yourself a coach, why you need to have a coach. I'll recap the 4 things that I said already. 4 things. Number 1, a coach helps hold you accountable. Every human being slips on their accountability over time. This is just an inevitable thing. So you need that accountability to hold you in place. Number 2, they catch you if and when and before you slip. They'll even notice that you're about to slip and catch you before the slippage even happens. Number 3, a coach poses questions to you that you had never thought of and never would have considered on your own. And I'm about to get into this expressly here. And number 4, this is the reason why all high-level performers have coaches, because they have these structures in place that keep them from slipping and keep them from underperforming or falling off the wagon at anything that they want to do. So any of you who's been thinking about whether you should hire a professional, again, therapist, trainer, coach, etc., life coach, whatever, now you know why you need to get one. So go get yourself one. I know, yeah, text me. Tell me the best insight you got from this video. My number is 305-384-6894. And your next step in working with me is going into Work On Your Game University. So go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. The link is down below in the description of this video. And you can see your options for taking the next step in the Work On Your Game world. Work On Your Game. Dre